Everyone. You have reached the Nail Mogul, and yes, I am available to talk. Today's video is going to be a really short tip and trick for how to minimize the smell of acrylic monomer in your home nail studio. So let's get started. This past week, I had a student to ask me, how can she minimize the smell of acrylic monomer in her home? She's a student in school learning how to do nails, and she's very motivated and very excited about practicing the techniques that she's learning in school and home. She said that her entire home smells like acrylic monomer and she can't get the smell out. So I'm going to give you just a few really super simple tricks and tips that you can use to make it painless, to clear the air, and pun is intended. So the first trick that I have, or this is really more like a tip, what I do when I'm performing an acrylic nail service, I'm gonna get my brush here. Here's my brush. And coming up soon will be a tutorial on how to keep your brush clean. So when I'm performing an acrylic service, I never ever take my acrylic brush and wipe into a towel, like your table towel. I never do that, and I've never done that. One of the reasons why you really don't want to do that is because there is lint in towels, and the lint is going to get in the brush. It may not be a ton of it, but it is going to get in the brush. And additionally, the acrylic monomer, which is a chemical, is going to eat away at the fabric of the towel over a period of time. Number three is that you do not want to put in your washing machine, or any washing machine, even if you go out to a laundromat, you do not want to put a towel that has chemicals like acrylic monomer in it in your washing machine, because if you have children in the home or you're washing your own clothes, they're going to be exposed to acrylic monomer. So you really don't ever want to do that. What can you do? First things first is invest in Bounty paper towels. These are Bounty paper towels. I love Bounty paper towels for doing nails. I don't necessarily use them around the house. I'll buy something a little less pricey because Bounty paper towels are on the pricey side. But one of the reasons why you want to invest in them to perform nail services is because they are super absorbent. Bounty paper towels cost as much as they do because they wipe up spills, and they really do what the commercial says. Absorbent. One little sheet will do what 10 of the competitor sheets do. So how does that factor into keeping your home nail studio from smelling like a vat of acrylic monomer? Well, what it does is when you wipe your brush into your Bounty paper towel, it absorbs the smell. It sucks it in much better than another type of paper towel, like maybe a brand that you might get from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so what I do, I take just one of these. This is the select the size roll. And what I do is I usually stack 3 or 4 of these on top of each other. I fold it. And then I fold it again. And then fold it one more time. And then what I do is I take my scissor and I cut it. I take my scissor and I cut it, and I come in this way and cut it. And another benefit of doing this is you have kind of like some lint-free wipes here. Lint-free wipes can be really pricey, and sorry for the crazy lights. I have natural light coming in from this really big window here, but these work pretty well as lint-free wipes. So what I do is I cut these, and I make sure that I have a lot of them set aside for whenever I do my services. I've got another stack right here. And what I do is, this is just a regular piece of a cardboard box. I got this from a shoe box. And anytime that I purchase something that comes in a cardboard box, I kind of keep a little piece of it, or keep it so that I can cut it up later. But I just cut a square that's about as big as my paper towel squares. You can make your piece of cardboard bigger. But when I'm performing a service, I don't ever wipe into my towel or onto the table. I don't put a paper towel onto the table and then wipe on top of that, because once you're done with the service, even if you throw the paper towel away, the acrylic monomer is on the surface of the table. And that smell is just going to continue to permeate the air. So what happens with this is that for each service, I'll grab about 3 or 4. If I'm doing something kind of intense like my nails, I may put 6 or 7. And as I'm performing the service and I need to wipe my brush, hopefully you can see this, and I hope that lighting is a little better. I'm gonna wipe on this. I'm gonna wipe on here. Now once this gets saturated, what's really cool about it is you can flip it over to the other side. You can flip it over, or sometimes I'll take, there's 3 in the middle, and I'll put this one under here, and I got a new clean one. And this will take me through the service. So what happens with these when I'm done? Well, what's so tricky about this is that the acrylic liquid that's on the paper towel, it stops right here. It's not going any further. So it's not going onto your surfaces, it's not going onto your towel, it's right here. So when you're done, even before I'm done with my client, when I'm done with the acrylic laying process, I simply take these, and here's my second tip. I put it in my, what I call my mini, it's like a mini cereal container. So I got this from the Dollar Tree, and it was $1. And what it is, it looks kind of like a one of those mini cereal containers. When you buy cereal, instead of keeping it in the box, you're kind of like designer and you want it in a clear container, and you pour the cereal in and put it on top of your refrigerator. This is like a mini one of those. And what I did was I just took I took a trash liner that came from a beauty supply. When you go to like beauty supplies, they give you these kind of teeny tiny grocery bags, like when you go to the grocery store, the bigger ones. Well, they're smaller, and I saved those as well, and I just cut the handles off and I line it with this. Now all of my wipes that smell are in here. Now right now in my nail studio, you do not smell acrylic, because this cuts the smell off. You can pop the top, put that in there, and it literally cuts the smell off. So this is a really simple way to keep your environment, when you're providing services, from having a really like high smell, where it's this really profound chemical smell. One of the reasons why I worked so hard to come up with ideas to counter this is because in my mind as a designer, it takes away from the experience. I like for my clients, when they're getting their nails done, to feel really special. I like for them to feel like a princess, like a queen. And if the environment smells like totally like acrylic liquid, in my mind that detracts from the experience. So I don't just want to do great nails, I want them to have an incredible experience. So really simple. Once again, get yourself some absorbent paper towel. You can also use Viva paper towel, which is even more expensive most of the time than Bounty. But the thing about Viva is that it can be a little bit furry. It's like a cloth, and it's a high quality paper towel, and it is even more absorbent than Bounty. But sometimes you get a little like lint coming off of it, and that's why I prefer the Bounty. Also, stop over to the Dollar Tree or Family Dollar or a discount kind of family store where you get items discount at discounted prices or cheaper, and get you anything. It doesn't have to be this thing. It can be a square, it can be a circle, just anything that you can remove and contain. And what happens is, now that the smell of the acrylic liquid has been cut off, it begins to dissipate. After a while, it's not there. So on any given day when I'm doing nail services in my nail studio, no one comes in and says, "Oh, it smells like acrylic monomer in here." Basically, people comment on how it doesn't smell like acrylic monomer. So those are just a couple of tips for all of you nail students and beginners to the nail industry. I call you nail baby dolls because this is a new venture. This is a very glammed out kind of industry, and there are so many trends today that were not around when I first started doing nails 25 years ago. So for nail students who are in manicuring school, or for someone who's a beginner at nails who is interested in just trying to see whether or not you like it, for all you nail baby dolls, just remember that there's always a trick or a tip that will help you to develop your talent and to make the experience of what you do so much better. I hope that this really helps you. Thank you for stopping by. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe. Coming up, I'll be doing more videos about tips and tricks that will make your nail designer's life so much easier. May God bless you. And once again, thank you so much for visiting my channel.